So we're starting off with the usual suspects here. We're not using flashy sourdough bread. We're using a nice, humble white bloomer. Then we got a good cheddar, red Leicester, fantastic. I've got some butter. And then that's pretty much the basis of the great cheese toastie. So bread, about a centimetre thick. Get yourself some nice butter. Room temperature always helps. A fairly light buttering. If you can. You're going to turn it over and do both sides of the butter. If you're going to do one first for the one you love, the wife, like pancakes, you know, the first one's never 100% perfect. So she'll think that you love her, or he, because they get the first one. But actually it'll be the tester. And then when you do the second one, it's about you. Selfish, but completely undercover. Well, until I just told you, so now I'll have to give her the second one. Get yourself a box grater, and you can use any cheese that you love. That's going to melt nicely. You know, this concept can embrace and love any country's best melting cheese. You know, if you're in France and you're in the wonderful world of Gruyere. If you're in Italy, you could go Fontina that just kind of melts beautifully, and little bombs of taleggio that kind of explode, little nuggets of flavour. Fantastic.
Once the cheese is grated, pile a handful onto your buttered bread and give it a squeeze. So far, so familiar.
We're going to pick this little baby up and we're going to put it into the pan.
You'll need your frying pan on a low to medium heat.
So what we want to do is spend about 3 minutes on each side getting it beautiful and golden. If it's too hot and you do it in a minute, it'll just be cold in the middle. We don't want that. So it's that perfect temperature to get the middle oozy. Now I'm going to place some weight on the top and just use whatever you got around you. You know, you could use a pestle and mortar or another pan just to weigh it down flat.
For 3 minutes, just wait. And get ready for the best bit, the making of this little toastie's crispy crown.
The way I developed the perfect cheese toastie was put too much cheese in. As it cooked, it oozed out, it went down the sides. This came out, and that was the kind of eureka moment. Because it's like, okay, I love me oozy lava of cheese, I'm into all that. But when this happens, crunch. Wow. So, okay, let's remove the weights now. And we have here a perfectly legitimate toasted cheese sandwich, right? Lovely. And many would be happy with that, okay? I ain't, right? Because we're going to a new place. So what we want to do is reenact in here the mistake that time oozed out of that beautiful cheese toasted sandwich. I'm going to grate a layer of cheese around the bottom of my little pan here. And almost think of it like a little doily. And we're going to take this cheese sandwich and we're going to put it bang on top, and we don't touch it. And in the course of a minute and a half, it brings out completely different flavours from the cheese. I mean, who doesn't love the smell of, like, catching cheese? You know, the bits on the tray when you did the cheese on toast under the grill were always the best bits, yeah? So you can see the fat splitting from the cheese, and that's another opportunity. Fat is coming out. Fat means we can add flavour. You know, we could do many things, but one little thing I love is just a tiny little pinch of KM. Tiny. You know, this stuff's hot, and just the littlest little grating. You probably won't even see it, but you will taste it. Not as in hot, but as in, like, kick. Can you see how it's just peeling away like that? That's a good sign. Be quite rough with it. Don't be scared of it. And then you get underneath it, and you just hold it. And by the time that we count to 30, we've then created our crown. Our very royal crown. I mean, I would love to cook that for the Queen. Then we put a little bit more cheese and we put it in the middle. And this is the final turn. 4 turns to perfection, guys, 4 turns. So we're talking texturally about a cheese sandwich we ain't had before. Imagine that turning up at breakfast in bed. Imagine that turning up on Father's Day. Imagine that turning up on Valentine's Day. I mean, come on. Look at that. When have you ever seen a cheese toastie like that? That is another level. It's a total thing of beauty. For perfection in the eating, you've got to leave it for 2 minutes because inside that toastie, you know, the cheese is like 1 billion degrees Celsius. It will strip the skin off of any human's mouth. So just leave it, be patient. And of course, as temperatures go down, you can taste more. Let's get the brown going. Let's get the ketchup going. Go and grab that mango chutney out the back of the cupboard. It's been there for years, just waiting, lonely, waiting to be used. Crispy, gooey, fluffy, golden perfection. That's what I'm talking about right there. Break it, squeeze it. Now, it's white bread, cheese, and butter. But let's be honest, this is what makes the world go round, and that is comfort food. Lovely people, we are going to make the most incredible mac and cheese. I've got a recipe for you that's going to blow your mind. You interested? Let's do this. First up, a nice big knob of butter into a pan. Finely slice 3 of these onions. As the butter comes up to the heat, 15 minutes to make these onions go sweet and gorgeous. Medium-high heat, a stir every now and again, beautiful. So after 15 minutes, you can see the onions have shrunk back down. It's lightly golden. So I'll take 3 tablespoons of flour, and that's our thickening agent to turn our milk into a silky, gorgeous sauce. And that will immediately suck up all of the moisture from the onions. And then I've got 1 litre of milk. So slowly, slowly, we'll add that milk. As soon as it's absorbed, we'll add some more. So the rest of the milk goes in, and we're gonna let that simmer while we cook the pasta. So of course, we're using macaroni. I'm only gonna cook this for 5 minutes. I wanna half cook the pasta, and then let this simmer while we get onto the other flavorings of this sauce. So when it comes to choosing the cheese, you could do one, of course you could, but I wanna do it my style, right? I want that balance of flavor, depth of flavor, and stringiness, ooziness. 100 grams of cheddar. Now that's a good flavor and a good melter. Then we're gonna go to a really stringy, gorgeous cheese. So this is a raclette, but you could absolutely use a lovely Gruyere. 100 grams goes in like that. And then Parmesan. I'll do that on a finer side. And Parmesan just has that amazing ability to join up flavors, make it all make sense. Now let's just talk about nutrition. This is not a green dish, but it is one of the most beautiful things ever. But also, as indulgent as this is, it's a brilliant carrier of seasonal veggies. So lovely fresh or frozen peas, bang, amazing. Getting asparagus in there, fantastic. Handful of spinach. But today, we're keeping it really simple. And this pasta has had nearly 5 minutes. Get into this pasta water and steal some of this starchy water, and we might need that later. We've only half cooked the pasta, and there's good reason for that, because when it carries on its journey of cooking, it's sucking up that flavor, not water. So I'll get that in, and I'll save back just a little bit for on top later. A teaspoon of English mustard gives it an amazing color and gentle heat. A little hack of a friend of mine that they swore by. And I tried it, and I did it as a blind taste because I swore that it wouldn't work, and it did. Mango chutney, 1 teaspoon. Slightly strange, but go with it. We're gonna add a little bit of this starchy water to get ooziness and silkiness. So it's really important to do this off the heat. We don't wanna be boiling cheese. At this point in the story, we go in with our macaroni, give it a nice little toss up. Oh, I'm excited, and I forgot 1 seasoning. Of course, Worcestershire sauce. A good couple of little swigs in there, and we are good to go. We're gonna take this gorgeous, silky, pasta-y goodness. Look at that. So that goes in the oven
for half an hour at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit. Now, what I want to do to make it even better is contrast that creamy, cheesy gorgeousness. So we're going to make a pan grattata. Bacon, herb, garlic, what's not to love? As it starts to get lightly golden, that is your cue to put the breadcrumbs in. And these flavoured breadcrumbs are like a gift on a simple pasta dish, even lovely stews. Amazing. These breadcrumbs have gone golden and crunchy. They smell amazing. Come on, half an hour. Oh, look at that. Come on. Mac and cheese, beautifulness. Crack. Come on. You know it makes sense. A few beautiful salad leaves. The ultimate smoky bacon. Crispy bits. Enough talking, let's just eat it. That's what we want. Nice cheesy bits. Mmm. Like the depth of flavour is off the hook. One of the things I like to do, which is my own personal problem, is to take a vulnerable, empty gem lettuce leaf and then load it with mac and cheese. And I actually do this at home, and my kids are around the table, and they're just looking at me going, you are such an idiot, you are like... But then, when they try it, they realise that I'm a missionary, trying to make the world a better place through mac and cheese. Don't judge me. I say no more, but click the link and cook it, you'll love it. This next dish is a delicious way to keep costs down and family favourite flavours up. My creamy cauliflower cheese spaghetti uses my super simple white sauce to totally reinvent the classic. Served with a gorgeous garlic crumb topping, this dish is a delicious 70 pence per portion. This is coming in well under budget, and I've literally taken my favourite veg dish and turned it into the most gorgeous pasta sauce. And the heart of this sauce comes from here, the freezer. A friend, a very good friend right now. So I'm using frozen cauliflower. Great price. It's already prepped for you. So get your cauliflower into a bowl, and then I'm going to grab a leek here, which I've washed. I'm going to take the end off, the green dark part, and then this lovely white part I'm just going to put in with the cauliflower. That's going to go in the microwave for 10 minutes, okay? So that is going to semi-cook. While that's doing its thing, I want to show you a really nice little cheat to creating possibly one of the most delicious sprinkles ever. Think garlic bread, but in sprinkle form. Right, interested? Yeah, I thought so. So, this is fresh bread. It could be stale. To make breadcrumbs without turning on a food processor, just get your knife, slice it up like this, one way, and then turn it, and then simply do it the other way until you've got breadcrumbs the size and consistency that you want. Okay, so we're gonna use that on top of our silky sauce with our pasta, and that crunch and that garlic is gonna be so delicious. So look, the first thing that we're gonna do is add a little garlic. So in we go, that'll start to fry in no time at all. I've got this little lonely piece of leek here, just open it out like this, and that will fry really crispy and be the most amazing little thing to have with our crispy garlic breadcrumbs. Put in the green part of the leek, and then we're going to put in the breadcrumbs. I've got some mixed nuts here, 20 grams, all of those flavours that will enhance that little sprinkle. The nuts go in, and they'll go golden and delicious. We're going to season this with some salt and pepper. Imagine that, garlic, oil, crispy leeks. There we go. So, there is my partially cooked leeks and cauliflower. So this lovely sprinkle is going to go on here. Next part of the story, we're going to have just a little olive oil in the pan again, 1 clove of garlic, slice it up, put that in the oil. Pan's already hot. So as the garlic starts to take on a little bit of colour, I'm going to use just a nice pinch of dried thyme. Dried herbs are a fantastic thing to invest in. When they're dried, they seem to be more robust, more savoury, more substantial in flavour. Little touch of salt. With the leeks, I'm just going to slice these up just a little bit. Can you see how soft they are now? And in we go, look at that. So I want to do a humble white sauce, and I've got 400 mils of semi-skim milk, so I'm going to put most of it in here. And then we'll start just poaching. And about 100 mils of this, I'm just gonna put in a little bowl, and we're gonna go in with 1 tablespoon of plain flour. So just mix that little bit of cold milk and the flour together. That'll dissolve nicely. Pour this in, and that will start to thicken straight away. So use a potato masher to make a rustic white sauce. Time to get the pasta on. Get yourself some spaghetti. So what I want is 300 grams of pasta. This is a 500 gram pack. Salt the water. And then we're gonna grab the spaghetti with 2 hands. In it goes. I'll put the lid back on just to bring it back to the boil. So pasta's in, crispy bits have cooled down. Go in to our starchy boiling water and just steal a bit. And this will just allow it to smooth out a little bit. So the spaghetti is nearly there. And this I've let down to be a nice consistency. Let's have a little taste. A little touch of salt, a little touch more pepper. And then, of course, I've got 100 grams of cheddar cheese in this recipe. Cheddar is oozy, it's stringy. That's about 90 grams there. I want to get a nice consistency now. You can go chunky, you can go rustic like this, but one thing that I can't help myself is to just use a little hand blender to make it super smooth. So in with the lovely cheese, and then I'm going to angle this pan and just blitz it up. It just sticks to the pasta in the most beautiful way. So blend that up until it gets nice and smooth. And there you go. Okay, sauce done. Pasta should be good. Let's have a little try. Yes. So take that pasta over, and then what we can do is just get in there with the pasta and just move it around. So look at that. Elegant and gorgeous. Let's get this going and just put a nice big pasta platter in the middle of the table. Go in with the crispy bits. Your mates would be so chuffed with this. Go on, get amongst it. Bit more sprinkly bits. And don't forget, we've also got enough cheese just kept to the side, just for a little light grating. Silky sauce around the spaghetti. When you get your fork in there, it kind of just puts wave after wave of those lovely crispy bits. Beautiful. So good. Soft, silky, crunchy, garlicky. Cooked with a bit of love and care and flair. And you get something delicious like that. Joy. Just joy.
My creamy cauliflower cheese spaghetti serves 4. It's packed full of veg and flavour and comes in at a very tasty 70 pence per portion.
Hi lovely people of a food tube. I'm gonna make this fantastic 4 cheese baked spirali. So delicious, so good. And will feed 4 people easy. So full of flavor. It's so easy to make it. So first of all, let me tell you what the spirali is. Sometimes they call them a fusilli. Actually, it's curly pasta, which they can manage to get all the lovely sauces, everything you cook for it. Let's put some salt inside. Here I got 0.5 kilograms of spirali. Stir them a little bit because you don't want to get the pasta stuck together. Let's come up to boil again, and then you remove the lids and then let the pasta cook all happily. Here I got 150 grams, the best welfare ham. It is fantastic because we know where we come from. So you cut them in small cubes. If you're vegetarian, just take the ham out, use tomato. It's very good as well. I need to fry this one. So I need some butter in a pan. The butter will give a lovely, lovely colors to the ham when actually I'm cooking it. Let this cook until it's a little bit crispy and gold. Turn the gas down to make sure they don't burn. In the meantime, let's cut some fantastic cheese. You can use any kind of a cheese. This is the one I like it. But you go home, you got so much bits and pieces of cheese, use them all. Will working fantastic as well. Let's get some taleggio. Roughly about 80 grams of cheese each. Cut them in small cubes because it's easy to melt it. Let's use some fontina. It's got a little bit of a bitterness inside. It is so nice. Then we come to the dolce latte. Dolce, it means sweet. Latte, it means milk, but with a kick. It's really, really, really good. Come with me, let me show you what I'm doing. Look at the lovely colors the ham has got. Now you add all the cheese inside. You have some pasta water to melt inside. Let me strain the pasta. The pasta is al dente, the way I want it. Always try to keep some pasta water. Just put them all inside. Now you have to mix it well. Make sure that cheese gets everywhere. Little bit of pepper inside. You can see I hardly used any salt because the cheese is quite salty. Right, I got this baking dish, which I'm gonna put some butter inside because I don't want it to get stuck when I put the pasta inside. Oh yes. Spread them all around nicely. At this stage, grate about 60 grams of parmesan and save some for the topping. Right, for the topping, 40 grams of shelled walnuts, chopped it up, not too fine because I wanted the crunchiness, and also I want the taste, the flavor. Put them in a bowl, about 20 grams of breadcrumb, just a handful. The remain of the 60 grams of parmesan, little drizzle of olive oil, mix all together and sprinkle them on top. What we're doing now, we bake them in the oven for about 20 minutes, 190 centigrade until it's nice and goldy on top. Yes. He talked to me. He said, I am ready. I am delicious. I am good. It smells incredible. Look at that lovely crust. Boy, I'm cooking so good. This is so delicious.